Hello, hello, and welcome back to A Frost and Flowers. I'm not sure how much left of Soul's Root we have. It might be like this one part, or it might be this part and another part after that, because I know I got a bit sidetracked getting a bad ending, so I don't know if it'll be the same amount as Keisha's was, which was 4 videos, but we'll see. Anyway, we're just starting off chapter 5. Alto just fell asleep on Soul's chest because, of course, she did. We need that cuteness and that fluff. We love it around here. But yeah, let's do it. Alto woke up to a series of muffled shouts and grunts of protest. She stirred and shifted her position, hoping to catch a few more minutes of undisturbed sleep. But a sudden noise, sounding like a distant explosion, woke her up for good. Uh, what was that noise? After much effort, she finally decided to sit up and scan her surroundings, realizing that she was no longer outdoors, but was back in Lithiel's underground library. Wait, what just happened? I remember taking a nap with Soul outside last night. Yet she was definitely indoors, inside the library, with a blanket covering her. Below her was a worn-out mattress, deflated over years of neglect, but still soft to touch anyway. Alto groggily scratched her head, her brain still processing the possibilities that might have occurred the previous night. Soul must have carried me back to the underground library. That's the most plausible explanation. Deciding not to fret over her current location any longer, Alto stood up, folded the blanket neatly, and set off to find Soul or Lithiel. The underground library was huge, Alto noticed, but there seemed to be no signs of either of them. Oh, you idiot donkey! How many times do I have to tell you? Oh, shut it, you old geezer. Can't you have a little patience? At this snail's pace, the world would end before your first lesson does. And have you ever thought that maybe you're just terrible at teaching? Is that Soul and Lithiel arguing, I hear? Their voices seem to come from above the library. I should see what's going on. Oh yeah, Soul decided to take lessons from Lithiel because I'm gonna use my magic now. Alto climbed the staircase to the underground library's entrance and pushed the door open. Sure enough, Soul and Lithiel were facing off against each other in a call-each-other-names battle. If Alto didn't know any better, it looked as if two teenagers were engaging in a harmless, childish quarrel. But that obviously was not the case, since the previously untainted ground was now splotched with signs of explosions. A red orb, presumably produced by a flux, was dangerously bubbling in Soul's palm, and Lithiel, who had kept his distance for safety's sake, was desperately shouting him instructions. Ugh, it won't stop growing. How do I control it? Put your mind to it. Instruct the flux. He's probably like, I don't know what that means. That doesn't help me. Can't you give me clearer instructions? While the two were bickering, Alto continued standing next to the library's entrance, still figuring out a proper time to intervene. But luckily for her, Soul had noticed her first. Good morning, Alto. Good morning. Why are you stuttering? No reason. Did you have a good rest? Yep. I presume you carried me all the way back? What a gentleman you've grown up to be, Soul. Shut up! Alto realized that his cheeks were tinted in a slight shade of pink, and that whatever he conjured in his hand was spiraling out of control. Soul, watch out! Oh, you idiot! Lithiel lunged to pull Soul away, but it was too late. A huge explosion rattled the desolate forest, sending birds flying away from the treetops in fear. When the dust settled, they realized that there was now a gaping hole on the ground they once stood on. It's scary. The first thing Sol did, however, was run towards Alto, scanning her body for any scratches. Are you all right? Are you hurt anywhere? I'm all right. What about you? Said person was, quite surprisingly, all right. Despite being at the epicenter of his own explosion, he got away with no scratches at all. I'm all right. Not sure how I got away with no injuries. Lithiel, are you... No. As a matter of fact, I am not all right. He was indeed not in as good of a shape as both of them were. Grazes adorned his body, and it did not help that he had jumped straight towards Sol when the detonation happened. Listen up, Featherbrain. He stomped towards Sol and gave him a flick on his forehead. Ow! Casting your flux requires a tremendous amount of concentration. If you keep getting distracted by every little thing, you'll never get a grasp on your flux. Treat it like an untamed beast who will go astray if you loosen the harness even a little bit. Easier said than done. Much effort is required to tame your powers, even more so that you're a child of the blood moon. All right. Sorry about that. Can someone tell me what you guys are trying to do? I'm trying to whip him into a sorcerer who can control his power so he will not cause the end of the world. This is the first time I'm touching all these fancy magic things, so cut me some slack. Actually ending the world. Yes, that would be a sight to behold. Sol, what do you say? Yell. No. Come on, Lithiel. I thought we were here to prevent the world's end, not cause it. Oh, calm down. I was just joking. If you weren't, I would have sacked you right now. Lithiel continued to instruct Sol in his magic training. Despite the mysterious man's inability to control flux, Lithiel was surprisingly well versed in the art, correcting every single thing that Sol did wrong. After some time, Lithiel retreated to where Alto sat, distancing himself from Sol so as to avoid getting caught up in another explosion. That guy sure is something. Please take it easy on Sol. He's always been rebellious ever since we were young. That's not what I meant. I meant that he's surprisingly adept, despite being unfamiliar with magic. He's doing a great job for a beginner. Then why don't you act the part? You're always reprimanding him for his mistakes. That's because he makes mistakes. Perfectionism is everything in wielding flux. One mistake and you're done for. Especially for a child of the blood moon. The stronger the magic, the greater the consequences. True. Sol has a lot on his shoulders now. I do wonder why he returned last night, and immediately asked me to instruct him, though. Wait, have you two been at it since last night? Yeah. Though I have to admit I was too excited at the prospect of personally instructing a child of the blood moon. It's not every day you get to do that, after all. Lithiel let out a long yawn, rubbing his eyes. Alto had only just realized he had dark rings under his eyes. Yet it seems that this body has limits. Why must physical exhaustion be real? You should rest up, Lithiel. It's not the time for that. I'll watch my student train as I record his mistakes from afar. Oh, then this is my chance to ask you some questions I've been brooding about. I could only imagine that you'd have so many unanswered questions. Ask away, and I might just answer you while I'm in a good mood. About Chrysmalia Project. You're a supporter of the project, aren't you? How did you know? Well, for starters, you were somewhat in disbelief when I spoke of the project's true nature. The boy, on the other hand, seemed to know it was coming. Say, Lithiel, are they truly as evil as you say? All my life, I've believed that non-magic users should be given a chance to experience what it's like to have magic. It's hard to think that a project which was supposed to bring people happiness ended up resorting to despicable methods and being the world's greatest enemy. Whether you believe me or not, it's ultimately up to you. Just know that I have told you the truth. If I were to point out humanity's fault, it would be moral corruption through the passage of time. Okay, about the soul contained in the vial. Oh, the soul in the vial. You don't have to worry about him. Though if we don't return to the headquarters soon, then he might... Never mind. You don't have to know. Actually, I was wondering what would happen if we just broke the vial. You have a way to get us to the headquarters without returning the vial, right? That's a huge risk. I need to examine the vial's mechanism before we break it, and that will take time. You're right. We wouldn't know if the device would self-destruct or erase the soul for good. But that's his body you're borrowing. You better take good care of it at least. But we know now that it's not his body, actually. This is Lithiel's body, right? If I remember correctly. This is not Keisha's body. Keisha has a different body. About Ellis. Did you really meet Ellis back there? In the project? The healer? I was cooped up in a cell most of the time, so I'm afraid I didn't have a chance to interact with her. But yes, I've known of her presence in the project. I've been keeping tabs on everyone with my soul detached from my body. Then, do you know why she's in the project? She isn't hurt or anything, is she? Hurt? I don't think so. She was one of the non-subjects, despite her magic capabilities. I suppose she's too much of a valuable asset. They need healers for their subjects, after all. Ellis, it's good to know that she's all right. But now I'm really wondering why you were involved with the project at all. Yeah, it's because of that dude. That's all. Well, actually, I do have another question. What's our plan after this? We're tagging along with you because we want a sure way to enter the Chrysmalia Project's headquarters. But you haven't told me the full gist of the plan. Quite the inquisitive soul, aren't you? Fine then, let's return to the library. I've got something to show you. Oi, Featherbrain. Huh? What did you call me? You come too. I don't want to return to the what? Sorry. I don't want to return to find the forest gone by your awful flux control. Why do I think that's actually possible? Wait here. So, I see you're finally facing your fears. Yeah, decided. Besides, I realize that being afraid to harm others is just an excuse to cover up my fear. You've decided to help Lithiel then? I haven't fully trusted him yet, but it seems he was telling the truth so far. But taking down the project, saving the world, honestly, I have no intentions of doing that. The reason I'm honing my powers is to pave the way to find Ellis. That, and to prove yourself, to protect protect you. Did he just say that? Was I hearing things? Yeah, because she got mad that he was like, I'm just doing this to find Ellis, because she's probably like, oh, he loves Ellis, but I love him. But then he said that, and now she's like, Interrupting their conversation was Lithiel, who returned with a huge scroll and carelessly laid it out on the table. Behold, this is the blueprint of my creation that will stop the main generator in the project. The two gazed at the numerous diagrams and incomprehensible scrawls scribbled on the scroll's perimeters. They looked at each other, equally confused. I don't expect your little brains to comprehend its intricate mechanism. Just think of it as a magic fuse. He tapped on a particular area of the diagram, which was nothing but another set of indecipherable doodles in Alto and Sol's eyes. All you need to know is that it is essentially traps the flux flowing in the generator for a period of time, causing it to overload and... Kaboom! Explosion! Alto and Sol stared at each other with equally dubious expressions on their faces. So, what do you need us to do? Lithiel started rolling the blueprint. Nothing, actually. I've been developing this device for a long time, and it's certainly not easy to make. I'm just telling you because if there's a chance that something happens to me, I want you to insert this into the generator. Treat it as my dying wish. Though I hope it won't have to come to that. Yell. Okay, sure. How are we going to enter the project's headquarters in the first place? Hope you don't suggest blowing up a hole in their headquarters. Oh no, not again. Oh, that. Don't worry, that's the simple part. He moved to another corner of the library, stopping in front of a standing mirror. And this mirror is... He's clearly trying to tell you to look at yourself in the mirror and fix your bed hair. Aw, the braid you made yesterday was ruined. No worries. I can always braid it again. Do love birds with matching chicken feathers. Huh? What did you say? Nothing. Anyway, this mirror is actually one of my creations. An old one for sure, but I'm certain it still works. Once you supply some flux into it, you could open a door to anywhere you want, as long as you put a node in that location. I've set up a node inside the Chrysmalia Project's headquarters. If they haven't purged my cell, then the node should still be there. Another device that requires Sol's magic, huh? You really are the key in this entire plan, Sol. Of course, with the way you are now, you'll only blow up my precious portal and ruin all chances of getting into the headquarters undetected. The device is sensitive to the slightest change. If your flux fluctuates in the middle of its operation, whoever goes through this portal may end up having their limbs or head chopped off. That is precisely why I need you to beat yourself into perfection. Okay. Hey, I get it. Alright. Now that you have a grip on my plans, I presume you've decided to work with me, right? You still strike me as suspicious, but you don't seem like a bad person. So I'll choose to trust you. Trust, huh? That's a word I haven't heard for a long time. I wouldn't say I trust you, but I'll cooperate with you for now. Yay! It seems that Sol is on board with this. To think that I would team up with a bunch of kids. Well, I guess that's not too bad. Thanks for trusting me. Wow, that smile. I wish he smiled like that more often. Sneered less. Alto felt a tug on her hair. Turning her head, it was Sol who pulled it, possibly asking for her attention. Did he see the way she was looking at Lithiel and he got all like, "Don't look at him, just look at me." Oh, great. Let me fix it. Thanks, Sol. Despite her attempt to not make such a big deal out of it, Alto could not help but feel her cheeks getting hotter as she let Sol continue the braid from where he left off the previous night. At one embarrassing point, she and Lithiel had inadvertently made eye contact, and she can see the repugnance plastered on his face. Okay. That's sweet and all, but it's time for more training. Now get your ass out of my library and start channeling your flux. Sighing in exasperation, Lithiel peeled the two away from each other and dragged Sol out of the library. Let go of me. I can walk by myself. What should I do in the meantime? You can help me clean the place up. What? Clean the place up? You mean... Alto gave the underground library a quick scan. There were papers and books strewn all over the place, ink stains splotching the floor, and vials of unknown liquid that gods only know how long they've been there. Does he really expect me to clean all of these? Jeez. Piero, what's going on? You've done it again, haven't you? None of your business. Didn't I tell you to stop taking part in the tests? Your body will break if you keep this up. You're as hard-headed as ever. Never mind. Here, let me heal you. But Piero had no strength left to move. He tried to prop himself up by leaning against the wall, but his trembling legs gave up the moment he did. Piero coughed again, continually this time, and color drained from the woman's face when she saw blood instead of phlegm. Piero! She immediately supported him and placed her hand on his forehead, letting her innate power handle the rest. The man's breathing gradually steadied, and all the pain he felt earlier subsided. Closing his eyes momentarily, he took refuge in the warmth emanated by the potent healing spell. Ellis. He looked at her face, teary-eyed, skin pale as snow, face washed with worry. Yes? Thank you. Piero, why do you insist on continuing to help them with the project? You know its true nature. Is ambition really worth all the damage you've done to your body? It is. It's worth it. I have a mission to accomplish, and I have a vision to make a better world, a world where everybody is equal, and that is achievable only by harnessing the Chrysmalia's powers. After Ellis finished casting her spell, Piero gathered himself and rose to his feet. Thank you for always being there for me, Ellis. I couldn't have done this without you. He turned to the doorway, but Ellis stopped him. Wait, where do you think you're going? Back to the lab. Now that Subject 13, my rival, is gone from the project, I must take this opportunity to win Lictus's trust. You're not going anywhere with that body of yours. You need rest. Your healer instructs you to do so. Oh dear. What will I do with you? Although traces of exhaustion laced his words, he could not hide the fondness he held for this woman. I suppose I can't fight you. I'll go and get some rest, as per my healer's instructions. Yeah, you better. Can't bear to see you get hurt again, Piero. I'll take better care of myself from now on. I promise. You better keep that promise. Though Piero had regained some of his strength from the spell, Alice's arm was still wrapped under his in support. She slipped her other arm around him in an embrace, as simple and necessary as breathing. Firm, but not squeezing him too tightly. Piero sagged into her, wrapping his arms around her and holding her as tightly as he could, which was not as tightly as it had once been. But for now, it was enough. It was everything. Oh, yeah, they're cute together. Chapter 6, A Scarlet Will. Three days had passed since Alto and Sol stayed in Lithiel's library. While Lithiel was preoccupied with his research and Sol was training hard to control his magic, Alto made herself busy by brushing the dust off of the infinitely many shelves. It seemed like an impossible task at first, but seeing that she had nothing in her arsenal to contribute to Lithiel's research or Sol's training, she had nothing better to do. Furthermore, she was tasked with the important job of gathering food. Over the course of 3 days, both Alto and Sol found out that Lithiel was not a good cook. In fact, undermining his cooking skills was an understatement. The man had no sense of taste whatsoever. The first dish he tried to make was purely made of silver blooms. He called it a soup, but to Alto, it tasted terribly bitter and had a texture more akin to glue. For both Alto and Sol's sanity, Alto volunteered to hunt the meat in the vicinity for an edible meal. In fact, she was currently returning to the underground library, dragging a dead boar along with her. Sol, I'm back. Huh? Strange. You'll usually be out here training at these times. Alto had noticed that the trees around the underground library thinned, day by day. Most of them were blown up by Sol's magic training, yet pride welled in her after seeing how much Sol had improved. They're not here, then they must be inside. Alto left the boar outside and made her way down to the underground library. Why would she leave it out there? Take it down with you. Oh, Lithiel, there you are. I have no doubt that in all its constituents are complete and flawless, but its success depends on you. Are you sure you trust me? As a matter of fact, I don't. What, then? But you're the only choice we have right now. Succeed, and we'll be in the Chrysmalia Project's headquarters. Fail, and we'll all turn to cinders. Or perhaps we'll find ourselves in a different dimension. Who knows? You're making me nervous. Are you sure I'm ready to operate this thing? Maybe it's better if I train for a few more days and... We can't afford to waste any more time. Crossing paths with you has already delayed my plans. Only he hadn't been trapped in there. I could have pried the vial open, but doing that is risky without his collateral. Lithiel shook his head. No matter. You should be ready now. That's right. You've been training so hard. It's just like supplying magic to the kids' toy in Alsharan. I'm sure you can do it again. I have complete faith in you, Sol. Remember, failure is not an option, Sol. Is he teasing them? I think he's teasing them a little bit. Lithiel said this as he mimicked Alto's tone, which only earned a scowl from the hunter's face. Stop making me even more nervous. Sol took a deep breath, approaching Lithiel's mechanism, a large mirror that portrayed an eerily distorted reflection of him. He put out his hands, lightly touching the mirror's surface. All right, here I go. As soon as he said that, beams of red light emanated from his hands, engulfing the entire room with a scarlet glow. It's feeling again. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm so hot. It is so hot in this room right now. I'm dying. Anyway, the compass at the side started spinning, and the mirror shook violently, causing tremors throughout the library. A few books fell from their shelves, and beakers shattered from Lithiel's table. More power. Keep it steady. Hold it together. Don't let the flow fluctuate. This is so loud. I feel like I should fix that. Stop barking orders. I'm trying, you moron. Sorry, I need to... Too loud. This is too loud in my ears. Okay. There we go. That's better. You can do it, Soul. After a series of hollering and yelling, the mirror finally stopped shaking. There was no more reflection in the mirror. Instead, the image it displayed was swirling, reflecting a place Soul had never seen before. And did it work? Soul lowered his head, seemingly stopping the flux transfer, and wiped beads of sweat from his brow. He glanced at Lithiel, who simply pushed him aside and inspected the mirror. Is that enough? Is it I can't speak. It's a success. Yes. It should work fine. Oh, yay! It worked! Oh, thank God. Alto immediately glomped onto Soul. Glomped. Yay! I knew you could do it! Oh, look at his little blushy face! I can't. I love the fluff. Give me all the fluff. Who knows? Maybe you're one step closer to becoming the greatest sorcerer in Gaia. I don't want that. But I'm glad I was able to help. Now we can go and rescue Ellis, and Lithiel can stop the Chrysmalia Project. Alto let go of Soul and turned to Lithiel. So, when are we leaving? Now that the portal's powered, we can leave any time. But listen, kids. Before you decide to come, I'll give you one last warning. You will undoubtedly be risking your life once you step into the project's headquarters. They have skilled magic users. Some of them have even been personally taught by me. Among all of them, Chrysmalia Project's leader, Lictus, is the most dangerous of them all. You also need to be wary of his right-hand man, Piero, who now is most likely the successor of the Chrysmalia prototype itself. What do they look like? You know what? Just avoid engaging with anyone that isn't your friend. That'll be best. But knowing all of that, are you sure you still want to come? You might get yourself killed. Isn't it too late to scare us away? Yeah, we couldn't possibly back out knowing that we're one step closer to Ellis. You youngsters really have no fear. Featherbrain, hand me the vial. Soul took the vial from his satchel and handed it to Lithiel. Now that they had a means to enter the project's headquarters, there was no reason to continue holding the vial. My objective is to destroy the main generator residing in the headquarters' main laboratory and take out Lictus. But you're there for your own personal reasons, which is to find that healer. We'll have to part ways as soon as we arrive at the headquarters. By the way, which part of the headquarters will this machine take us to? The cell I was caged in. It's the safest place for now, and I doubt anyone would guard the place. Makes sense. All right, are you ready? Ready as I'll ever be. Then stand in this circle, the two of you. They did as they were told. Lithiel stepped in too and activated the mechanism. The machine whirred again, but this time the circle beneath their feet lit up, casting golden rays on them. What? Alto frantically searched for Soul's hand by instinct, and she realized he did the same. As the machine's whirring reached its peak, Alto felt her body disappearing, as if merging as one with the light itself. Hold on tight. Ah! Alto blinked. Once, twice. She looked around. Wherever they were now, it was no longer the underground library. Instead, they were inside an empty, enclosed room. Is everyone okay? I'm alright. Feel a bit queasy though. How about you? I'm fine. Soul looked up and down at Alto for good measure, checking to see if she had sustained any injuries or if she was missing a limb or two. Lithiel, are you... What's with the creepy laugh? Maybe he lost some of his brain parts. That would be terrible, Soul. You couldn't take out the project like that. It worked. I knew it would work. Only a genius like me could build an invention and have it work on the first try. I truly am magnificent. I can't deal with him. I am magnificent. Wait, this is your first try at using the machine? I don't know whether I should be terrified or impressed. Hold on, I'm really not missing any internal organs, am I? No, thank you. You used us as guinea pigs. But thanks anyway. Sorry, that was not Lithiel. Yeah, thanks. Let's get going before anyone spots us. The door opened up to a tunnel with rows of other cells, which eventually led them to a wide hallway. Ooh, it's freezing. Do you expect? We're in Chrysmalia after all. I wish it was freezing in this room. I am dying. It is so hot. I can't even put the fan on because the microphone picks it up. So this is where we'll part. I'm heading to the main lab. There is a rehabilitation room that the healer frequents. It's just at the end of this hallway. It's your best bet. Thanks, Lithiel. And stay safe. I really hope Lithiel is the secret route. Save that worry for yourself. The scholar said that with a usual air of confidence, but Alto's perceptive eyes caught a glimpse of his fingers trembling. Later. Lithiel turned, dashing to the opposite end of the hallway. Will he be okay? We know he can't use magic. Alto, let's go. Right. Are they gonna find her? I mean, they're gonna find her and she's not gonna want to go with them. Alto and Soul ran across the hallway as discreetly as possible. The rehabilitation room located at the end of it was open, but there was no one inside. Well, she's not here. There goes our luck. We're close. I can feel it. What's our plan now? Try and open every door we come across. Great idea. No, bad idea. There's a set of what? My British accent is getting worse and worse as we go along. I'm very sorry. There's a set of staircases over there. Use your animal instincts and decide if we should go up or down. Oh God, I don't know. Up or down? Do we go up or down? Down. Let's go down. All right. I think the staircase leads to the cells again. Yeah, you're right. Ellis can't be here. Ugh, guess we just wasted time coming back down here. Way to go, Gorilla Girl. Hey, you asked for my directions. Okay, excuse me, Soul. Don't be mean to me. I don't know which way to go. The two climbed the stairs and landed on another identical hallway, except this time there were people, most likely magic users, walking around. Soul and Alto ducked behind a pillar, trying their best to remain unseen. What do we do now? There are too many people. But there's a chance that Ellis is with them. True, but we shouldn't risk it. They know we're looking for her. They might even use her as a hostage. Excuse me? Use who as a hostage? Surprised by the sudden presence of an eavesdropper, the two suddenly recoiled to a defensive stance and turned around only to see... Ellis! Alto dropped her weapons immediately and jumped at her without the slightest bit of hesitation. Whoa there! It's been a while since I last saw you. You seem to be more muscular? And you seem to be a bit chubbier. Okay. I will kill you. Like, okay, Alto, that was unnecessary. Now that's the Ellis we know. While Alto was rejoicing at Ellis's presence, Soul rightfully had second thoughts of having a happy reunion in the middle of enemy territory. As much as I'd like to celebrate this joyous occasion, this is hardly the right time for it. Let's focus on getting out of here first. Right. Ellis, do you know where the exit is? Don't worry. You're safe now. We're here to rescue you. Except she doesn't want to be rescued. You can say goodbye to this cult that has been enslaving you. Alto took Ellis's hand, but she smacked it away. Ellis? What's wrong? I'm sorry, Alto. Soul. But I can't go with you. Ellis, what are you saying? Yeah, what are you saying, Ellis? Oh, I get it. They must have cast a binding spell on you or something to prevent you from escaping, right? In that case, we need to find who cast it and... No! No, that's not... It's not like I can't go, but it's more like... I chose to stay. Ellis, does that mean you voluntarily joined the Chrysmalia Project? That is... Hey, what are you doing here? You two, run! But before Alto and Soul could escape, the man had blocked their path. Stop! These people are... We're new recruits, sir. I've never seen your face before, and I've never heard of a new recruit being brought in. Guards, arrest them. Alto, Soul, run away. You're no match for them. And leave you? Hell no! Magic users wearing robes flooded into the hallway, and within a blink of an eye, 3 were completely surrounded. Ugh, we can't handle this many at once, and all of them are magic users. Alto, listen to me. I'll make an opening, and you take that chance to bring in Ellis and run. All right. Here goes. Soul slammed his flux-infused fist against the floor, causing a tremor that split the floor, as well as the crowd of guards, into 2 parts. The magic users stopped in their tracks in shock, but not because of the destruction. They were staring at the red beams escaping from Soul's fist, mouths agape. Soul is using magic? Oh no, this is bad. If the other mages see his flux, then... No way. The color is flux. Can't be. Alto, now! Alto grabbed Ellis's hand. Quick, Ellis! I told you! I can't go with you! Why are you so persistent on staying? Because I want to be here! You want to stay here? But why? That's enough. An invisible force broke Alto's grip, forcing her to involuntarily release Ellis's wrist. Before Alto could look up and process what happened, she was sent flying to the other end of the hallway. Alto! Intruders, I see. Tell me, how are you able to enter? Piero! Ellis, get back. Wait, stop! They're my... Before Ellis could finish her words, Piero had conjured a blast of wind that launched Soul in the same direction as Alto. Alto caught Soul just in time, stopping him from crashing into the wall. You good? Yeah, thanks. You? Just a few scratches, but I'm fine. Ready to kick this guy's butt? Hell yeah. Soul unsheathed his dagger, and Alto readied the hunting knife she had borrowed from Soul. As if on cue, the two lunged towards the throng, their speed too quick for the magic users to react. Using his flux as propeller, Soul kicked and slashed at them, throwing the row of magic users to the side. Meanwhile, Alto was squaring off with Piero, fully relying on her reflexes to barely dodge his magic attacks. A monkey, this one. Why does everyone call me that? Piero clicked his tongue in annoyance, shooting out more attacks at her. The purple fireball curved at her blind spot and grazed her side. Ow, it burns! Piero, stop this! Before Piero could launch more projectiles, Ellis clutched his arm, which he broke free from almost immediately. Ellis, it's dangerous here. You, guards, take the healer to a safe place. The guards did as they were told, dragging Ellis away with them. Piero, wait! Don't hurt them! They're my friends! Alto had retreated from the fight momentarily, clutching the side of her stomach in pain. Even though the searing pain made it hard to hear, one look at Ellis's eyes, those cobalt blue eyes that watered and looked torn in two, Alto instantly knew what was keeping her here. Piero. The word rolled off her mouth like a beast's growl. She glared at Piero, her eyes filled with an insatiable fury, an expression she never knew she could make. Piero! Alto lunged at him with as much speed as she could muster, the hunting knife clutched firmly in her right hand. You're the one responsible for taking Ellis away, right? What have you done to her? She directed the knife towards his chest, yet the man himself did not move. In fact, not even his expression changed. He remained motionless and emotionless, the true definition of a soldier who had lost his heart in a battlefield. But when Alto was a foot away from the man, he flicked his wrist and... Alto! Strong arms enveloped Alto, protecting her from whatever impact was meant for her. But before Alto could support her protector's body, the floor had caved in. Ah! They lost their footing, plummeted by gravity. Before they realized it, they crashed into the hard ground. Ow, 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 ow. Soul, are you all right? Alto moved to Soul's side and realized that he was not all right. What do you mean? What do you mean he was not all right? Excuse me? His bare back was full of blisters, and the fabric of his shirt was now in tatters. Alto caught him as he struggled to stand up, but it was clear that the impact had taken a huge toll on him. Oh, thank you for protecting me. That was nothing. You two, what are you doing here? It's Lithiel. Well, that was a short goodbye. Oh, who are these kids? Sinister aura. Even if I'm not a magic user, I can feel this guy is dangerous. Could he be Lictus, the project's leader Lithiel was talking about? Oh no, Lithiel specifically told us not to engage with him, but... Master, they are intruders trying to take the healer away. Now we can't have that, can we? But the boy... Piero stared at Sol. He's a child of the Blood Moon. Lithiel pulled Sol behind him defensively. It's nice of you to bring me back a present, Lithiel. Just when I thought all Blood Moon children had been eliminated. Piero, change of plans. Eliminate everyone except that child. Understood. Piero thrust his arms forward and created a dark vortex, which propelled towards them at a mighty speed. Ah! Alto tried to pull Sol out of the way, but he was heavy, and they knew they could not dodge the attack in time. She heard Lithiel shouting their names from afar, but all she could hear were her thumping heartbeat and the fatal attack aimed at them. This it? Are we really gonna... Alto closed her eyes, bracing herself for the impact. But a few seconds passed, and the attack never landed on either of them. It's Keisha! It's beautiful Keisha! Keisha, I missed you, Keisha. I love you, Keisha. A stranger with dark green hair, a man Alto had never seen before, appeared in the middle of the disarray, seemingly responsible for stopping Piero's attack. Who is that? You're back. It's about time. You. Miss me, Piero? Ugh. Curse you! Why did you come back? Piero launched another attack at the man, but the stranger had dodged, retaliating by sending one of his own attacks back at him. The two continued their battle with such terrifying speed that not even Alto could keep up. Something shone at Alto's side, but before she could react, beams of black and purple were right before her eyes. Ugh. Oh, Lithiel! Lithiel had his arms spread out, blocking the impact targeted at them. Oh, Lithiel's a good guy. He's a good guy. Is he insane? He's incapable of using magic. Lithiel, why did you... Get a hold of yourself. It would be all over if they get a hold of Sol's power. Not even I could stop him then. But you're... Lithiel's stomach had a gaping hole, caused by Lictus's earlier attack. I'm alright. This body is immortal. As long as my soul is intact, I'll recover soon. Well. To sacrifice your body to protect a bunch of mere mortals. You sure have gotten soft, Lithiel. Lictus was approaching them from the other end of the laboratory, slowly but surely. In the meantime, he was readying for another attack. You two, I need your help. Before either of them could reply, Lithiel placed a key in Alto's palm. I'll distract Lictus as much as I can, but I need you to use this key to shut down the Chrysmalia Project's power, planned once and for all. This key... Seeing Lithiel tinkering with this back at the underground library. It must be the fuse he talked about. That's the device that will overload the generator. Please. Looking at the pleading look in Lithiel's eyes, and the injury he sustained from protecting them, there was no way she could refuse his request. Don't worry. We'll destroy that thing for you. Let's go, Sol. Despite his injuries, Sol was still able to run with Alto to the back laboratory, where an imposing generator stood, surrounded by other magic users. Get out of our way! Alto breezed past the throng of magic users, slashing at them before they had the chance to cast a spell. Ah! Sol activated his flux and summoned scarlet strands, which swung against the guards, sweeping them across the floor. Leave them to me. Focus on the generator. Okay. We're not letting you get anywhere near the kernel of our research. Oh, come on. Why are you even part of this research? Don't you know that you're destroying the balance in Gaia itself? Don't speak as if you know what the project is all about. Yeah, the Chrysmalia is not destroying Gaia. We're reforming it. The other members let out a simultaneous shouts of approval. Reforming? What do you mean? Imagine a world where there are no kingdoms, no fights, no bloodshed. A world where death does not exist. That is the true purpose of the Chrysmalia Project. To reform Gaia and alter the laws set by nature. You guys are more deranged than I thought. Alter the laws set by nature? Are you trying to play God? Go play house somewhere else. All of you Chrysmalia bastards. It was hard to think that just a few days ago, Alto was an avid supporter of the Chrysmalia Project. But now, after hearing Lithiel's story, their treatment towards Ellis, and searing pain Sol had sustained because of them, there was no doubt in her mind anymore. She knew what she had to do. I won't forgive you! Trusting Sol to take care of the furious Chrysmalia members, Alto leapt up high, dodging the aerial attacks aimed at her, and landed in front of the generator. Quick, there must be a keyhole somewhere here. Perhaps one used for an emergency stop or for activation. As she frantically felt for the machine, her hands stumbled on an indentation. That's it! A keyhole! She immediately fumbled for the key. Sorry, I need to lower this volume. Okay. Sorry. Let's hope this works. But just as she was about to insert it, a beam of flux accurately shot through the key. No way! He was now gone, shattered into a million pieces. Alto felt her heart sink. The only hope we have to stop the Chrysmalia Project is now... Do you think I'll let you destroy the fruits of our research that easily? Your opponent is me. Alto stared wide-eyed at the fine particles on her palm that were once their trump card. No, 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 no. No, this can't be happening. Why? Alto, behind you. Sol blocked the attack aimed at Alto in the nick of time. Damn it, Alto. Get yourself together. But Sol, the key is... Sol stared at the key as a similar expression of hopelessness flashed on his face. Yeah, but he fixed that toy in Al Sharon, didn't he? He can fix the key. It's all over now. With the device gone, we'll have no chance of bringing down the project. And we failed to rescue Ellis, too. Alto dropped to her knees, hurling her fists in regret. She glanced back at Lithiel, who was too preoccupied in using the last of his remaining strength to barely dodge Lictus's destructive spells. Sorry, Lithiel. A hand gripped her shoulder. No, it's not over yet. Oh? Sol released his grip and headed to the generator, inspecting it closely. Yale said that the key traps the flux flowing inside of it and basically overloads the entire system, right? Yeah. If I recall correctly, he once said... All you need to know is that it essentially traps the flux flowing in the generator for a period of time, causing it to overload and... Kaboom. Explosion. But why are you asking? Do you have another plan in mind? Overloading the generator with flux is essentially the key's function. Then if I channel all my flux into this generator, it will produce the same results. That's crazy! How much flux do you think you'll need to overload such a complex machine? It's a reason why Lithiel created the fuse, you know. And I think there's a reason why I'm born the night of the blood moon. Maybe I was born for this day. Destroy the Chrysmalia Project. To protect you. Well, you and your dramatic words. Kiss him, just go like smoochy smoochy. Sol stepped in front of the generator and thrust his hands out. Alto, cover me. Okay. Ah! Red orbs started to flock around Sol, casting the entire laboratory in a scarlet glow. What's that boy doing? His power. I must have it. Other boy. Wait, don't tell me he's trying to. Stop him. He's trying to overload the generator. Piero charged towards Sol, but the green-haired sorcerer blocked him. Yes, Keisha, please. As I said before, your opponent is me. Curse you. We must protect the Chrysmalia. We can't let our research go in vain. Some project members who had partially recovered got back on their feet, readying spells once they realized what Sol was trying to achieve. Oh no, you don't. Her warrior instinct kicked in. She stopped all of them before they had a chance to attack Sol. Ugh. She's fast! The light emanating from Sol grew in intensity now, so much that the room looked as if it was covered in blood. Sol, are you alright? Oh. Hey. Sol, stop. You're not ready to control that amount of flux yet. Cast any more and your body won't be able to handle it. But I can't possibly stop now. Not with all of you pinning your hopes on me. Besides, if I don't destroy the Chrysmalia Project now, Bliss will continue to be trapped here. I know you wouldn't want that, right, Alto? So, get away from here, everyone! This building is going to collapse. True to his words, the floor started shaking, and the ceiling crumbled, raining down rubble. It's over now, Piero. Your flux is exhausted. You'll risk your life if you continue any further. So after all this time, I still couldn't beat you. I suppose you are Master's favorite disciple for a reason. Disciple. Gotta be joking. Sorcerer cast a binding spell, constricting Piero's movements. You! Come back here! When will you ever learn? Come on, Lithiel. Let's get out of here, or we're caught up in the explosion. Wait. They stared at Lictus, who was on his knees, staring at Sol's magic with wide, excited eyes, almost like an apostle witnessing a god's prowess. Yes, yes, the power of the blood moon. More, more! I must obtain that power. Sorcerer shook his head, lugging Lithiel out of the laboratory. Leave him be, he's gone. He used up all his flux from the experiment earlier. One knock should be able to end him. However, he soon realized that Lithiel was not, in fact, concerned about Lictus, but the two newcomers who were standing behind the Chrysmalia Project's very source of power. Yeah, because he cares about them, he loves his new friends, found family. The invention that was initially created to bring smiles, and yet now deemed as Gaia's most dangerous weapon. Oi, you kids! Don't you dare die on me now! You better make it out alive, do you hear me? Sorcerer could not help but smile a little. They'll be fine. They better be. Who would have guessed that the esteemed god of knowledge would be worried over a bunch of children? Shut up, you. Can't hold on. Perhaps Lithiel was right. This is too much for me to handle. I can't give up now. Soul's feet slipped from the sheer impact of his flux, accumulating in his palms. But someone had caught him before he fell. Gotcha! Alto was behind him, planting her feet firmly on the ground while supporting his body. What are you doing here, dummy? Didn't I tell you to get out of here? This building is going to collapse regardless of whether I succeed or not. Heck, I don't even know if I could do this. We'll get through this together. Whether you fail or succeed, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you, you're being stupid. Just run before my magic harms you again. Paul pushed Alto's arm away. She only held him tighter. Alto, I'm being serious. Get away from me. No! I'm not risking your life again. And I'm not risking losing another friend. What? I just want to be with you. Is that too much to ask for? You. It's the dramatic one now. Soul had begun transferring his surge of flux into the generator, which slowly cracked at its edges. The light emanating from it was now getting more intense, and Alto had no choice but to shut her eyes. Alto could feel Soul's arrhythmic heartbeats pulsing through his back, his every ragged breath that he heaved, and his trembling arms that screamed for relief. She took a deep breath and supported Soul's arm, lifting it up. You are not alone, Soul. I'll stay here with you, and I'm not going anywhere. Alto. Say, once this is all over, how about you quit your bounty hunting job and travel the world with me? I'll be a wandering warrior, and you can be a traveling bard? What possessed you to think of that? Well, you'll be able to show off your poetic skills that way. Plus, I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun. Yeah, that does sound like fun. What do you say, partner? You and your absurd ideas, really. I don't see why not. Great. It's a promise then. Chrysmalia Project headquarters has fallen. The entire building was now reduced to rubble, buried under a mountain of snow. Everything that was inside the headquarters had turned into cinders, and now plumes of black smoke produced from the aftermath escaped to Jalea's ever-gray sky. It's great we managed to escape in the nick of time. But I wonder what happened to those kids. They survive? What just happened? I don't know what I just did. I can't tell if the generator was destroyed, but one thing's for sure. They couldn't have escaped an explosion of this magnitude, unscathed. I'll go look for them. The man moved and searched for them, but Lithiel stopped him.
There's no need. I have a feeling that they will be fine. If you say so.
Lethiel dropped to the snow, gazing at the headquarters from a distance.
Finally, I've ended what I've started.
What is this warmth? Feels familiar. Alto's eyes fluttered open as she felt a warm touch on her forehead, followed by an all too familiar voice. Alto? Ellis? Morning. Have a nice sleep? Alto immediately leapt to her feet and hugged Ellis with all her might, crushing her with all the strength and love she could muster. You're safe and alive. I'm so glad. Of course. What do you think I am? Did you forget that I'm stronger than the two of you combined? Realizing that her feet were now planted on a pile of melting snow instead of tiles, she looked around, only to see that the project's headquarters had been reduced to rubble and ash. Beside her was Sol, still unconscious, his body propped up on a stump of a broken pillar. Sol! Alto quickly checked on him, worried for the worst, but relief flooded through her when she realized that he was still breathing. Huh? His wounds are healed? Mine too. She turned to Ellis, who stood there with an all-knowing smile on her face. Ellis, you protected and healed us, didn't you? Thank you. Anything for my two dearest friends. Yet as she said this, there was a tinge of sadness in Ellis's eyes. Alto drew closer to Ellis, holding her hands. Ellis, can you tell me now? Why did you choose to work in the Chrysmalia Project? Sol and I were really worried about you. We spent the last 3 years desperately looking for you. Ellis sighed, clasping Alto's hands in her own. She was warm. It's true. I was abducted by the Chrysmalia Project and forced to work for them. But as time passed, I realized that the members are simply misguided. They're humans, just like us, Alto. People who believed in the project's vision and were passionate with their research. Of course, after time I uncovered the dark secrets behind the project, and I've been secretly working with others to stage a revolution from within. That was, of course, before you and Sol charged in and destroyed the project for us. Oops. You always knew, Alto, that I've longed to live a fulfilling life. A life driven by meaning, a life of adventure. Staying in the village, being the perfect woman everyone wants me to be. That life just isn't for me, you know? I know. I found the true meaning of my existence here, and I found someone special I wish to be with for the rest of my life.
You mean Piero? I don't approve of him one bit. Nuh-uh.
He's not as much of a villain as you make him out to be, Alto. Really? And I'm sure you found someone special too, right? What? There's no need to be shy. I knew that the two of you would be together ever since we were kids. Whether it is now or in the past or even in the future, Sol was and will always be looking after you. I didn't give you those matching chicken feathers for nothing, after all.
So they were chicken feathers! You tricked us!
The two of you are so gullible I couldn't resist.
Ugh, Ellis!
Well, sorry to cut our reunion short, Alto, but I should be going. I'll be taking Piero with me, and we'll be taking refuge in Leicester for now. Once everything has settled down, I'll return home. I promise. I'll hold on to that promise then. Until then, stay safe, Ellis. You too, Alto. The two exchanged another hug, and Alto watched from afar as Ellis helped the injured Piero up. They walked through the snow, hand in hand, until their figures disappeared within the fallen frost. Alto sighed, flopping into the snow in exhaustion. She's gone, huh? To think that it was her choice after all. Alto watched the snowflakes slowly flutter down. She let one fall on her palm, but it melted as soon as she touched it. Despite the frost, still felt the warmth from Ellis's magic that enveloped them like a blanket. Alto turned to her left, where sleeping Soul lay, and lightly caressed his raven hair. Soul, you're awake! Are you hurt anywhere? 5 minutes. His body fell to the side, resting on Alto's shoulders, and he started snoring. Poor him. He must be so tired. I guess I'll make an exception this time and let you borrow my shoulder. But next time, you gotta let me borrow yours, okay? Rest well, Soul. Oh, that's cute. This is the end, right? Like, this is the last. I think I'm gonna do the chapter, even though I'm dying. I'm dying of heat. So hot right now. Okay. Come on, hurry up. If you dally any longer, I might leave you. Jeez, can't you see I'm still in the middle of packing up? Would it hurt for you to be a little more patient? Sometimes I wonder how you're able to survive working with the knights, with your habit of being unpunctual. Correction, how were they able to survive working with you? Hey, mocking me again, aren't you? Why don't you help me instead of just standing there? Soul sighed in resignation and made his way to help Alto take down her tent. Why are you laughing? This feels very nostalgic. And we're just a few miles away from home. It feels so strange coming back after all that happened. We did kind of destroy the Chrysmalia Project. As of now, not many people know about the Chrysmalia Project's destruction, probably because hardly anyone visits Cholea in the Cholea region. Can't read. It's 1 a.m, I'm sorry. But there were some rumors floating here and there, ghosts of whispers in the wind. Once the truth of the project's destruction is confirmed, it'll definitely cause an uproar. Lithiel and the other magic users said that they'll take care of it though, so we shouldn't worry too much. All packed. Shall we get going? Thank you, Soul. Gee, what a gentleman. Should reach home in a few hours. Are you excited? Heck yeah. It's been years since I've seen my parents. But I thought you were on bad terms with them. They were really against you being a knight. Isn't that right? Altia? Oh, don't call me by that name. I know. It's a beautiful name, though. Perfect for a girly girl like you. Say any more and I'll strike you down. Anyway, I still can't believe your parents actually let you leave. Yeah, but not without hearing their scoldings for the umpteenth time. I thought my parents were strict. But your parents are something else. They were really against my decision and even told me to get married instead. Paul nearly dropped the bag he was carrying. Married? Yeah, they also set me up with these marriage candidates they found. What? So did you... are you actually married? Alto bonked Soul's head. Stupid Soul! Of course not! Do you really think I'd agree to it? Sorry, I panicked. So, what happened? All of them ran away. I didn't even need to try. Oh. Thank goodness. What do you mean, thank goodness? If any of them ended up with you, they'd have to be ready to spend the rest of their lives with a gorilla. And that'd be a tragic outcome indeed. Soul. Not tragic for you, but for the poor guy who has to bear with you in your eccentricities. Hey! Two continued bickering as they walked the familiar road back home.
Every step they took brought them closer to their childhood home, and they would recall and laugh at the incidents that happened in the past. In a way, it seems like nothing has changed. That was nerve-wracking. Your parents are strict as ever. Thankfully, the news that I became a wanted woman hadn't reached their ears yet. Oh, if they knew about that. Alto shuddered at the thought. They'd murder you for sure. They definitely would. Fortunately, none of my family are home. My distant cousins are present, but they couldn't care less about me. Well, if your parents are home, we'd probably get another scolding of a lifetime. Yeah, you could say that again. If your parents are home, we'd probably get another scolding of a lifetime. I didn't mean it literally, blockhead. Two sighed again in unison. We truly are blessed with such an uptight family. But it does mean that they care for us a bit too much. Yeah. Soul gazed at the evening sky with furrowed brows. Are you thinking about what Lithiel said to you? About your family's reason to keep your birthday away from you? How did you know? Not that I think of it. Now that I think of it, your meticulous parents would never have forgotten their only child's birthday. I also thought it was weird why they never celebrated my birthday, and why they kept it such a tight leash on me. Now I know why. Sol curled his hand into a fist. My powers are dangerous. And as Lithiel said, if anyone knew I was a child born the night of the blood moon, they would exploit me to no end. My parents were just protecting. Well, but now I don't know if those powers will return. After that incident in the project's headquarters, Sol is unable to use his magic. Lithiel said that Sol had used so much flux that it might take some time to replenish. It might be days, months, or even years. We'll never know. But Sol doesn't seem bothered by it. He even said he didn't need that power anyway. Alright, now that we're already here, hey, let's go to our usual spot before the sun goes down. Are you gonna confess your love? Oh, right, a hideout. Wonder if it's still intact. I wouldn't be surprised if it was wrecked, though. Been 3 years, after all. Ever since Ellis went missing, we hardly stopped by to check on it. Let's go anyway. It's exploration time! Alto grabbed Sol's hand, leading him to the secret place that only the two of them knew about. Sol hesitated for a moment, but he soon allowed the familiarity and comfort of Alto's hand, that hand which he held so many times, lead the way back to his precious childhood memories. I do. I like the childhood friends trope. I like it. The two spent some time searching for their secret hideout, namely a small hut made of sticks and vines along the riverbank. However, they did not find any traces of that shelter they made for themselves. Oh, it's gone. Well, that's to be expected. I've heard that flash floods occurred frequently here. The river must have overflowed and washed away our hideout. Aw. But they can build a house together. They can build a new house and live in it together and have babies. When Alto wasn't looking, Sol took the chance to jump into the river and splash some water on her. Hey, now come on, don't look so sad. Your face will look like stale bread if you scrunch it up like that. What? Sol managed to dodge Alto's splash attack just in time. Miss me? Don't get too cocky. Hey! Bending down and swinging her leg, Alto had successfully swept Sol from his feet. Why, that's unfair. You asked for it. Sol rose from the waters, his amber eyes gleaming in childlike mischievousness. Mischief? Oh, that's how you want to play it, huh? Don't go crying to your mum when I beat your ass like in old times. Excuse me, isn't that my line? And if I recall, weren't you the one who went back crying to your mom? Nonsense. Never happened. It did. Your memories must be jumbled up from all the explosions your poor brain has gone through. So allow me to jog your memories once again. Huh, bring it on. An intense water fight soon broke out, and the two were instantly drenched from head to toe. Just like a flood, the memories returned all at once. The two children fighting over their hideout, Soul's victory over Alto, Alto catching Soul off guard and tackling him. But most of their banter ended with Ellis completely defeating the both of them through clever tactics. Or more often than not, through food barbarity. The golden setting sun continued to shine on the two, coloring their skin with warm glow of orange. So there they were, just two young adults engaged in a childish water fight, their laughter and squeals giving life to the place they once cherished. Take that! Whoa! After hiding behind a facade of waves, Soul managed to tackle the startled Alto, but he did not expect himself to lose balance as he brought Alto along with him. Oh! Cute! Soul's clumsiness brought the two to an awkward position, and for a moment all the roughhousing and rivalry were brought to a standstill. Alto's heart beat fast at the sudden proximity, and warmth rose to her cheeks as she realized how close they were. She could feel Soul's warm breath on her face, every contour of his muscles, and the heat emanating from his body. Blushing, she looked away. It's getting late. Maybe we should call it a day. Alto made a move to stand up, but Soul did not budge. Are you going to move or what? Soul... I'll move once you answer a question. Ooh, here it comes. Question? I have you pinned down, so it's my win. And as all games go, the loser has to do the winner a favor. Geez, alright. Ask away. Soul looked away, now seemingly having second thoughts. Seeing his red ears and flushed cheeks made Alto giggle, and she wondered what question he could have in mind. How adorable. Soul, did you know that I always... Alto, when your parents set you up with those bachelors, did any of them catch your eye? Oh my god. Soul, seriously? Alto stared at him with wide eyes, utterly dumbfounded. Well, that is such a weird question to ask. Just answer it. Besides, didn't I tell you that I chased them all away? I'm sure no one was actually serious in courting me. That wasn't my question. I'm just asking if there's anyone who caught your eye on that list. Bachelors. Let me think about it. To be honest, that was years ago, so I don't remember them that well, but there was a rich guy who... Soul's bloodlust spiked so suddenly that Alto had to gulp down whatever she was about to say. Who I definitely was not interested in. Rich guy? What's his name? What does he work as? Why were you interested in him? What is this? Don't tell me you're jealous. Alto poked Soul's flushed cheeks, looking forward to teasing him more. Yeah, I'm jealous. So what? I love it. I love the fluff so much. I love fluff. I love it. I'm like... Well, for real? I've known you for years, longer than anyone else. I know what makes you cry and what makes you smile. I know all your preferences and dislikes, and I know all your weaknesses and how to deal with that recklessness of yours. Hey. Oh yeah, I don't know why, but it's just... Will finally released his hold on Alto and rolled to the side, letting the shallow water submerge his body. He's like, just let the river take me. I've embarrassed myself enough. Thought of you being tamed by someone else. This makes me worried and uneasy. I don't want to see it. can't foresee a future where we won't be able to do these silly things again. And I certainly don't want to see you doing these things with someone else. Well, now I finally know why I've been so conflicted spending so much time with you. Alto, I love you. I always have. In the past, the present, in the future. The normal circumstances. Oh, sorry, he's not speaking anymore. I got so caught up in his words, and I just... it's so... Under normal circumstances, she would have found surefire retort to counter him. But for once, that part of her brain malfunctioned, and she was unable to find the right comeback. Well, Cole brushed the stray hair from Alto's forehead. She shivered at his touch. I've been waiting for the right time to say it. You don't have to reply right now, so... Me too! Shoot, my throat cracked and I just cracked that out without thinking. Do you really mean that? I don't know when it started or when I stopped thinking of you as a mere childhood friend and rival, but every moment with you really makes me happy. Oh yes, I love you, Soul, and I always will continue to love you. I've done it now. Soul gently lifted Alto's chin, adjusting it so that her beautiful teal eyes were in line with his. Don't blame me for what I'm going to do. And if you ever want to take back those words, just push me away with that superhuman gorilla strength of yours. Okay? He's gonna kiss her. Silly Soul. I don't know how much I've waited for this moment. Soul drew closer, and Alto welcomed his warmth that enveloped her. But then he hesitated, fearing the worst before the point of no return. And so Alto tugged his scarf towards her, leading his lips to where they were supposed to be. On hers. Oh, I love it so much! And she thought, from now on, those lips will be the only one for hers. So warm. They shared breaths and felt each other, and every pump of blood under their skin, all their thoughts hushed. Alto took in the sight of the young man bathed in the sun's scarlet glow, tracing his features, wondering how lucky she was to have met him. Though he can be a jerk sometimes, he's still the Soul I know, Soul I have always loved. The boy who grew up as my rival and partner in crime, who secretly writes the cheesiest poems and who never fails to engage me in banter. Yeah, this is the Soul I know and love. Alto. Soul drew me even closer this time. I'm sorry. I'm like, what is this? Am I in first person? What am I doing? Soul drew in even closer this time, surprising Alto. His hands circled to the back of Alto's head and... Achoo! Dude, did she just sneeze right in his face? Alto's nose abruptly thought it was the perfect time to sneeze. Soul's right into Snoll's face. Oh my god. Soul pulled away, washing his face with the river water. I'm so sorry, Soul. Jeez, talk about embarrassing. I guess that's a call for us to leave. Getting dark anyway. Soul stood up and extended a hand to Alto. Come on, let's get going before you really catch a cold. Alto took Soul's hand, letting him lift her up effortlessly, and the two of them waded out of the water. You know what this reminds me of? The time we pulled a prank on the city kid who lived in the village. Yeah. The kid thought the seaweed entangled on his leg was a snake. We ran off and left him. Okay, that's mean. The poor kid. Poor kid. That was your idea. Hey, you were in it too, so don't go acting all innocent. I don't want to relive what happened afterwards, though. Oh yeah, that. Maya personally gave us a 2-hour lecture. We were forced to apologize to the kid and his parents. Plus, both of your parents and mine gave us another round of scolding. Yeah, well, that part wasn't exactly memorable. Oh, and remember that time when... The two walked back to the village, hand in hand, just like the good old days, recollecting their memories, bitter and sweet, and recounting all the precious times they had. Say, Lowell. Don't forget about the promise we made, okay? Promise? Promise? I don't remember. What, you meanie? What happened to us traveling around Gaia together? You promised. I was just joking. Of course I remember. Lowell placed his hand on Alto's head. And do you want to start the Wanderer's life? Now. Right now. Right now? Are you serious? I don't know. I'm just so excited. We're going to go on an adventure together. It's gonna be different when we travel to Zathania to be a knight. Huh? How so? Because this time I'm going to be with you, silly. Oh, I can't wait to explore the lush green of Grendel Woods, or the snowy Lestier's glacial mountains, or have a vacation in the infamous Palmer Beach, or hey, have you heard of the mage city of Wakot? I heard it's super cold there, but I'd love to visit one day. I heard their military consists of all magic users. Isn't that amazing? Wakot, huh? This is detached from the mainland. We need to board a ship to get there. I think we can set sail from Al Sharon. And yes, I must say, I've always wanted to visit it. There's so much to do and so much to explore. I don't know where to start. The world is a big place. I'm sure we won't get bored of exploring. Alto suddenly stopped and turned to Sol, taking his hands in hers, excitement gleaming on her turquoise eyes. Sol, promise you'll stick with me through it all. Even though we might have fights and all, promise me you'll always come back to me. Sol gripped back Alto's hand with the same amount of strength. Of course, Alto. I promise. In the past, present, and future, I'll always be looking out for you. And only you. Oh. After all, we can't let a gorilla run loose without any supervision, right? Hey, just when I thought you were being sweet. Oh, they're so cute. I love them. They're adorable, and that was nice. I love that. The childhood friend trope finally wins. Gets Sol's good ending. Amazing. Oh, I loved it. It's so good. I really enjoyed this game. Like it's a sweet fantasy romance type of story, and I like that. I love the fantasy romance. Okay, I'm here for it. Thank you so much for watching. This is the end of Sol's route. I believe there's a hidden route. I don't know how to get it though. I'll have to figure that out. But I believe there's just one more route, a hidden route. I don't know how long it is either, so it might be kind of short. We'll see, I guess. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of Sol's route down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Oh wait, look. Lithiel's mini route is now available to play. I knew it. He's the secret route. We're gonna play it. His route piggybacks Keisha's and can be accessed by choosing Keisha's initial route, then choosing a certain different option. Have fun. Okay, so I will have to figure out what that option is and do that. But yeah, I will do that next time. We'll play the secret mini route, and yeah, let me know what you think so far of this game in the comments below. If you want to play it for yourself, it's free. Go download it on Steam or on itch.io. Go do that. It's great. It's a fun time. But yeah, thank you so much for watching again. Bye bye.